Hello there. My name's Scott. You're watching a video right now on a collaboration channel called The Movie Reviewers 100. It's been rather sparse around here the last few weeks, I just wanted to apologize if any of you watching have been anxiously awaiting our next set of videos, because I guess a multitude of different reasons, people haven't been posting. We have 7 active members, one for each day of the week, yeah, there has been a real lack of videos the last couple of weeks. In fact, I think we didn't have any videos for like 2 or 3 weeks in a row. We have themes every week. Our theme weeks start on Friday and extend through Thursday, which is my day, so I'm usually the last one to post a video on a theme. We sort of have a list that we share amongst ourselves online as to what the themes are, and we're supposed to have a theme. The last theme that we were supposed to have was Jennifer Lawrence, and I figured, you know, this would be a popular theme because she's been in X-Men movies and Hunger Games and Silver Linings Playbook and American Hustle, and so there's not a lack of popular choices, and yet there were no videos posted. I know a couple of the guys on the channel have been unable to post, or just they need to take a break or what have you, but we do have 7 members here, and so if it's disappointing for you, I just wanted to tell you that it's rather disappointing for me to you know, expect there be, you know, some enthusiasm about posting videos, and I don't know, I hesitate to really, you know, sort of complain about it, seeing as how it's not a channel that I started. I was invited to join in 2011, about 2.5 years ago. No, that would make it 3.5 years ago now. Yeah, that's right. That's right. My first video that I did was on Scream 4. It came out in April of 2011, and I did a video on that, as most of the other guys on the channel at that time did. And I've been really enthusiastic about doing videos ever since then. But it's really hard for me to work up enthusiasm to do a video like this every week if it seems like hardly anybody else is enthusiastic about it as well. I know, of course, everybody has their own lives, and sometimes it just, you know, it seems like everyone has some reason why. It just seems like at this time everybody, or almost everybody, has a reason why they can't or don't want to post right now, and so that's disappointing to me. And it's been difficult for me to sort of you know, like I said, work up enthusiasm to make a video like this every week, when no one else seems to want to, or at least hardly anyone else. EJ did a video actually on Saturday, which was nice to see. Our theme this week is on movies that focus on courtroom trials. And I really like movies, legal thrillers or dramas or what have you, that revolve around a trial or some sort of legal proceeding. They're like sports movies for me. There's 2 clear-cut sides, you know, and you root for one side or the other, what have you. But yeah, the stakes for me are a little bit more interesting than winning a Heisman Trophy or what have you, or the World Cup, as the case may be. Yeah, EJ, he did a video, so that's great. But yeah, the previous weeks have been kind of barren around here, and that's been disappointing. I rewatched a Jennifer Lawrence movie a few weeks ago in preparation for the theme, called The Burning Plane, which is by one of those Mexican directors. His name is Arriga, I think. I can't remember. Alejandro G. Arriga. I might be confusing him with Inarritu, who's the director of Babel and Birdman. This guy was one of the co-screenwriters of Babel, and the film that he directed, The Burning Plane, was Jennifer Lawrence and Kim Basinger and Charlize Theron and a few other people. But it's one of those mixed chronology timelines. And I enjoyed the film. I thought it was really good. I knew sort of what the twists were, but I was disappointed that Jennifer Lawrence got such low billing. This was before Winter's Bone came out. I think this was probably the year before Winter's Bone came out, so she hadn't gotten her first nomination or very much attention at all. Hardly anyone knew who she was. It was before The Beaver and everything like that, and definitely before she was in the first X-Men movie. But her billing is way, way, way down in the credits, and she's like the main character of her storyline, practically. It's a jumbled timeline, so there's a main character for each storyline. One of them is Charlize Theron in the present, and then years earlier in the 80s, I guess, or maybe it's the 90s, Jennifer Lawrence is the main character in this one, or at least she's one of the main characters. But yeah, that's not what we're supposed to be focusing on this week. It's Courtroom Trial, and like I said, I enjoy this one, this theme quite a bit, this genre, this subgenre of the legal thriller, and one of my favorite films, of course, in this genre is Primal Fear. This was directed by Gregory Hoblit, who wanted to do the Denzel Washington movie Fallen, and Frequency with Jim Caviezel and Dennis Quaid, which I've actually talked about both those movies in previous videos. Primal Fear came out in 1996. Richard Gere is the main character. He is a high-priced defense attorney in Chicago, who used to be a prosecutor working under a guy named Shaughnessy, played by John Mahoney, who is, one of the great Chicago actors, part of Steppenwolf, and he was one of those Chicago guys in the line of fire. If you remember, John Malkovich played the villain in that movie, and I have this sort of suspicion that he told Clint Eastwood and the producers and the director Wolfgang Peterson, well, I'll do this movie, but I'd like you to cast a few of my Chicago friends in the key roles, which is why John Mahoney and Gary Cole and John Hurd are also in that film, I think. I don't know that for sure, but it just seems, geez, there's a lot of Chicago guys in that movie. Anyway, I'm getting off track. It's set in Chicago, and the Archbishop of Chicago has been brutally stabbed in his residence, and there's blood everywhere. He's been cut up, who knows how many times, over 70, 80 times, I think. And suspicion falls upon one of the altar boys who is living there, who happens to be covered in the Archbishop's blood. And of course, this character is Aaron, and he is played by Edward Norton. This is the first film that Edward Norton was in, and of course, the first film that I saw him in. And boy, was I impressed by this kid, man. Oh my goodness, this guy was great. Had no idea, didn't know anything about this, and that's great because Richard Gere gets all the attention. All the advertising is all about Richard Gere and about his ex, played by Laura Linney, who's prosecuting the case, so the two of them are, at odds. Then you've got Alfre Woodard as the judge, you've got Braugher and Maura Tierney are working for Richard Gere, helping prepare his defense. And Frances McDormand, of course, is a psychologist who is evaluating Edward Norton's character. This was actually released around the exact same time that Fargo was in theaters as well. Pretty big month for Frances McDormand. Of course, she didn't get nearly as much attention for Primal Fear as she did for Fargo, and, that's fine. But what happens is that during her evaluations, she discovers that Aaron Stampler has multiple personality disorder, and that there is another person in his head named Roy who is extremely savage and was probably the guy that did the killing of the Archbishop. So Edward Norton is essentially playing two characters, which is really, really great. I love stuff like that. I love stories about people with multiple personalities, like Raising Cain with John Lithgow. A few other, I've seen a lot of made-for-TV movies where that's a thing, and soap operas, things like that. It's just fun. I know it's a horrible condition, but in the context of fiction, it's kind of a fun device. And all the acting is really good in the movie. It's just one that I've just found really compelling. There's some really great reveals and what have you, and of course you've got lots of scenes of people giving testimony and being cross-examined, and all that stuff's a lot of fun for me as well. But yeah, Edward Norton's the real big deal in that film. And after that, of course, I began liking, enjoying lots of films that he did. The next film that he made after that was The People versus Larry Flint, with Woody Harrelson playing the guy who created Penthouse magazine, and Edward Norton plays his attorney, and he's really good in that film as well. And he's been not so great in a few movies, probably because, I don't know, they might not have stirred his enthusiasm all that much, but he was recently in the new film Birdman with Michael Keaton. And he's really good in that movie too, and that's a really fun movie, so that's a good one to check him out in. Anyway, there's one other legal movie that I wanted to mention, and that's Presumed Innocent, which came out in 1990 and stars Harrison Ford. It was directed by Alan J. Pakula, who did The Devil's Own and The Pelican Brief, and prior to that, All the President's Men and a couple other classic films. I think he might have done Clute as well, with Donald Sutherland and Jane Fonda. In that movie, Harrison Ford is the prosecutor, but he is accused of murdering his mistress, the woman that he was cheating on his wife with. Greta Scacchi. Greta Scacchi is the woman in that one. And Raul Julia plays his attorney, and I really like Raul Julia a lot, and he's really good in the movie as well. He's actually a defense attorney who's faced off against Harrison Ford a number of times in court, so Harrison knows just how good he is, so he gets him to defend him. And the trial revolves around the collection of evidence and and how that can go wrong. And there's a scene actually where Raul Julia is cross-examining a medical examiner, and he points out some discrepancies in his testimony and in his notes. And once he's done, Harrison Ford says to him, "Congratulations, not many people get a cross like that." Like, oh yeah, that's right. That probably hardly ever happens in real life. It happens in the movies and in TV shows all the time. I thought for sure that I had talked about presumed innocent in a previous video, but I don't think that I have. Unless I spelled it wrong. I'm not really sure, but it's one that I like a lot. I wanted to mention it, but Primal Fear is definitely way up there for me. So, there's my video. Of course, if you're watching this video on YouTube, we've got a Facebook page. And it would be great if those of you who are watching come on over there and like the page and leave us comments and feedback and suggest themes. Our next theme, which starts tomorrow, is going to be on Ray's birthday. If I'm not mistaken, it's the 14th of November. Yes, that's right. It's Ray's birthday. So all our videos are going to be devoted to people who have the same birthday as him. Actors, actresses, directors, whomever involved in the business who have the same birthday as Ray. That's our theme. That's something we've been doing throughout the course of this year. So I hope that the guys all want to make a video. That would be really great. I'd love to see that. Yeah, like I said, I'm kind of disappointed it's been so desolate around here over the last few weeks or so. But hopefully that will change soon, because this is I have a personal channel, of course, but this is something where I post regularly, or at least I try to post regularly, just because on my own channel, I can do everything I want, but it's nice to have a regimented schedule to keep me busy. And of course, the themes help as well. The themes are something that had been done prior to me joining, and I suggested that we start that up again just so that I would have I would have a narrow range of choices. Because if you're on a collab channel, you post a video, at least this is how it is for me. If I post a video on a channel every week, but don't have anything in particular to talk about, I could just talk about anything, then it's really tough to decide. But if it's like, no, you have to do a movie about a courtroom trial, no, you have to do a movie about Jennifer Lawrence, or what have you, then it becomes much easier to select something. And I was wondering whether or not the themes were a little bit too restrictive, and I asked the guys, hey, should we stop doing the themes? Because it doesn't seem like a lot of people are posting. And most of the reactions I got were, no, it's good, actually, it's helpful. So I hope that the channel itself stays alive and strong, and that we have frequent postings, that we have people like you who enjoy watching our videos on a regular basis. We had, in the past, of course, a large number of videos deleted by a hacker, but I actually kept track of how many videos that I've done. I've done 165 videos on this channel since I joined, and that's not counting the live chats. We've done a few of those as well. We don't do them often, but we do them every once in a while. It's like a podcast, those Google Hangout thingies that I cursed Google Plus, but the Hangouts are good. So, thank you very much for watching. Maybe this is a little on the long side, but I appreciate you sticking with it. And if you happen to be watching this video on Facebook instead of YouTube, of course, you can follow the link back to YouTube and subscribe to our channel there. I don't know if that's easier or less easy to watch it there instead of on Facebook, but it's an option. We provide options for everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you'll tune in to the next set of videos. Please take a look at EJ's video. If you haven't already, that would be great. And we'll see you again real soon. Hopefully, there'll be a whole bunch of us seeing you real soon.